What's going on? Welcome to Unlocking Your Inner Strength. In these episodes, I share with you insights and inspirations that have come to me on my path in life, and hopefully they can be a welcome hand of guidance as you move along your journey. I teach because I'm passionate about my message. I teach because it helps me to learn more deeply. Thanks for sharing a few minutes of your time with me for this week's episode, and without further ado, here is this week's show. What's up, everybody? It's Kyle with another episode of Unlocking Your Inner Strength. Got the boys here in the background. A little bit of chaos going on. Got my good friend BK coming in.
Daddy!
In a little bit. Daddy's doing a show. Hold on. You come watch over here. But that's what you got to do sometimes, right? Schedule was a little off this week, but the show must go on. Recording this before I go out and take the bike for a spin over to a meeting I have in a little bit. Today, actually, before I get to what I'm going to go over with you, and I'm not talking about like sappy relationships or whatever, or how to be like Dr. Love. I'm talking about real life relationships. But you'll notice more and more people are wearing the glasses. I've even seen people in the fitness industry that are big time players that I've followed for years, and they're wearing them now too. And I'm not saying I'm taking the credit, but it's this idea that's out there, right? And people are grasping it. When an idea reaches like a crescent, right? It's the ideas. That's like how two people can have the same idea at the same time in opposite parts of the world. You're going to start seeing colored glasses more and more. I promise you that. So I'll do a whole show about that one of these days. For this, I'm calling it a relationship masterclass. Don't do that. And I'm not talking to you guys. Sorry. I'm gonna drop some cool things here in a quick period of time. Make sure you re-listen to this. First thing I want to tell you about any type of relationship you have is every single relationship you have in your life will come to an end. Every single relationship you have will come to an end. That could be death, divorce, just moving on from each other. But it makes things a lot easier to deal with because a lot of people, when relationships come to an end, they don't know what to do. They feel lost. They feel rejected. But I expect relationships to come to an end. I know they will at some point, right? So that's one thing. Next thing, there's 4 keys to any relationship. Okay, 4 keys. Intensity, Colty, get outside. Intensity, duration, proximity, and frequency. And these are like 4 levers. They're not all going to be high all the time. But if one is low, 2 are low, you got to raise the lever on the other ones. This typically is why long-distance relationships don't work out. Intensity. How intense are you guys when you're hanging out? Right? If frequency is low, intensity's got to be pretty high. You got to spend a lot of time together in that weekend together or whatever you have. Duration. Are you spending time together over long periods of time? Again, if it's a short duration that you have, maybe you've built a foundation of long duration. Now you try going to a long distance type of thing or whatever. But duration, right? Proximity. How close are you to the other person? Right? Are you seeing them frequently? Right? Are you seeing them every week? Are you seeing them once every couple of years? And then the frequency, how often you see them. And I know as a guy, a lot of my best guy buddies, I cannot talk to them maybe for a month, or even some of them I don't see often at all, but we'll pick up just like when we were in high school. Like you don't miss a beat. And so it's the foundation you set for the relationship. So those are 4 keys or 4 traits to a relationship. And next thing I'm going to talk about, think about your personal brand. Your personal brand, because that's what you are when it's in any relationship. You have a personal brand. And how do people view that brand? I'm going to tell you 3 things. You can poo-poo it if you want, but this was given to me by somebody that I paid a lot of money to. Be consistent, right? And that's something I always try to do in my life. Be consistent. Don't be needy. Neediness is not attractive in any type of relationship. Don't be needy. Always be honest. That's called being authentic. Right? Don't put on a show. Don't put on a front. Be yourself. Right? And once I embraced that I tell Brax, once I embraced that I was weird and that I was just going to be who I am, right? Everything becomes easier. You don't got to put on a show. You don't got to try to fit in. None of that. The funny thing is, when that happens, you have better relationships. People respect you more for just being who you are, not trying to hold things back or be something you're not. And I've tried that in the past when I was younger, right? And that's part of what you got to learn. But be consistent. Don't be needy. Always be honest. Okay? Last thing I'm going to tell you. It's going to be a pretty quick episode for you guys today. It's episode 281, by the way. I'll give you a couple plugs at the end. For yourself, the main relationship you have in your life is with you and yourself. If that relationship is not solid, like if you don't have self-love, self-respect, you will never be able to provide that, and you'll never receive that from somebody else. So 3 things. We're talking about mind map that you have to be aware of. Look at that. I got primer on my finger. That you have to be aware of as you go forward, because then you'll be able to figure out which areas of these 3 things I'm about to tell you, right? And this is massive. If you notice, this is massive. But which area is your main problem right now? Because then you got to go about, how do I address that? So you have protection. The brain is hardwired for survival. Protection. So your brain is asking, am I safe? If you don't feel safe, and whether it's your job, relationship, physically, whatever it is, your health, you got to address that. Connection. That is relationships, right? So connection. The brain is hardwired for connection. It's very sensitive to judgment and rejection. So you're having a connection issue in your life with somebody. Right? And one of these is going to dominate. One is going to take up the headspace that you have to address in order to move forward and to go after your future-based thought and goals. And the last one is prediction, your ability to plan and think about the future, linear thought, logical thought. When your executive function of your brain goes down, you have to be very aware of that, because that's a signal that the human brain is leaving, and that could be stress, that could be lack of fuel to the brain, eat too much junk, it could be lack of sleep, brain damage, whatever it is. We got to realize when your ability to predict the future, right? Because your brain is a pattern recognition machine. It thrives on prediction and response. Prediction and response. When it can't formulate a prediction, it can't move forward. You stay stuck. You're in like a freeze mode. So you think about those 3 areas, and then you kind of say, do self-awareness, self-evaluation. Where's my area of struggle the most right now? And then you got to address that. And then you can go about forming habits and working on your goals. So hopefully that all makes sense. That was a lot in 7 minutes and 20 seconds, guys. I recommend that you listen to that again. This is stuff I've been studying for years, right? So it might come off as very simple, which is meant to be, and very concise, which is meant to be, but it doesn't mean you can grasp it fully in one go around. So I recommend that you listen to it again and see what you can apply. Right? Always when I'm trying to do episodes, podcasts, I'm trying to think of what can you, the listener, take value from, what can benefit you. So that's all I have for episode 281. A couple plugs coming up. We got a charity cornhole tournament coming up. Anybody can play November 6th at our Hillsborough gym. I believe it's $50 a team, so we'll be having the Facebook event out there. You can find it on our website as well. We have a big 80s dance coming up for Newell Strength, November 12th. And we got a couple seminars. November 11th is going to be How to Have the Healthiest Heart Around with Dr. Andre. And December, I got a bunch of stuff in December. December 9th, we're working with ProCare Physical Therapy and Steve Perendi doing a low back seminar. And I'll be doing a webinar on December 16th with a lot of cool stuff. But I'm going to keep you in suspense about what that is, because I got a lot of different topics I want to cover. So we got all that stuff going on. All right, guys. And don't forget, you can go to kylenewell.com/manual. Get my new mixtape for free about fasting. It's about 35 minutes. Just download it, and you get to listen to it. And all you got to do is get on my email list for that. All right, guys. Peace. Have a great day.
You wrote for today's episode. I appreciate you and your time truly. I'm humbled and honored if you made it to the end of this episode. Don't forget, you can go to kylenewell.com for your free ebook, written by yours truly on getting started with fasting, infused with 5 mind map principles never before seen. This is something I have not given out to anybody else that'll help you see the light when it comes to your fasting journey and creating better health, both physically and internally. Remember, it's all about the mind, body, and spirit. Until next week, peace.